Today's lesson is on Power Rules Day 2, and you will have a quiz on this stuff on when? Friday, which is tomorrow. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. First thing we're going to do is just work through some of these problems. On your calculator, show you a new feature. Okay, on your calculator, please, if you will hit the math button, and go down to number 4, and if you'll look right here so you can kind of see what we're doing. See how it has the cube root? Okay, so we're doing that in the calculator, the cube root, and we're going to press enter, and then I'm going to type in 8 to the second. So 8, use my caret key to the second, and I'll press enter. What's the calculator giving you? 4. Okay. So write that on your paper for that first one. You get 4. I also want you to type in the calculator 8 to the 2/3. So now we're going to type that in. 8 to the 2 divided by 3. 8 to the 2/3. And press enter. What is that giving you? 4. Okay. All right, we're going to do a couple more together, and then I'll let you keep going. So on number 2, to type that in your calculator, what button do you have to press first? Math. So you press the math button. Go down to the cube root, bless you. And this time you're typing in 27 to the 4th. What are you getting? Yep, so write that on your paper. Then you're going to type in 27 to the 4/3. Okay. All right, guys, if you'll look up here real quick, for this one with the 16, number 3, does it have a little 3 out there? No, that one's the square root. So that's just second square root. We've used that before. That one's just the square root key. 16 to the 3rd. All right, you should be getting 64 for that one. 64. Okay, I'm going to let you keep going and do the next couple on your own. All right, guys, if you're not, I need to show you how to do number 9. So I'm going to write the other ones up here. So for number 4, square root of 64 to the 5th, Brandon, what did you get right here for number 4? All right, and that's the same thing you get when you do that one. Okay, Jack, what did you get for number 5? 5, and that's the same thing you get for that one. Number 6, Madison, what did you get for that one? 10. Same thing over here. Chase, what about number 7? Okay, and number 8. Riley, what did you get? 7. Okay, let me show you how to do number 9 in your calculator. You're going to have to go to math again, but this time you want to go down to number 5 where it has an X in front. So everybody do this with me. Hit math, go down to number 5, and you're actually going to arrow over and make that a 4, and then you arrow back over, and you type in 16. Okay, everybody try that with me. I'm going to do it from the get-go, so try it with me. So you hit math, down to number 5, and you have to arrow over and turn that into a 4, and then you arrow back over and do 16. All right, what are y'all getting? 2. Good. And number 10, for some reason, got left off on mine. Square root of 36 and 36 to the 1/2, 6. Okay, good. Okay, so what's the pattern you're noticing? The ones on the left are the same as the right. Now here's the question. So that's a pretty easy one to recognize. These numbers are the same as these. Here's the big question though. How is this problem similar to that? It's got the same numbers. Where's this 3 going? Very good. To the denominator. Where's this 2 going? To the numerator. All right? What about here? Where's the 3 going? To the bottom. Where's the 4 going? To the top. Okay? Now here, does anybody remember the name of this one? What's the name of this symbol? Square root. So there's an invisible what out here? 2. Very good. There's an invisible 2. So that's where the 2 came from. The 2 in the denominator, and then the 3 in the numerator. Okay? What about right here, number 5? What little number can I put with 125 right there? A 1. That's where the 1 came from. Okay? All right. So in your star, where it says what pattern do you notice, we're going to put power over root. And I also want you to put this symbol. Okay? Okay, so the power came from the inside and it went to the numerator. The root came from the outside and it went into the denominator. Okay, so power over root is important today. Power over root. Okay, so let's go ahead and do some actual problems that you would see on a test. Okay, so first thing I want you to do is with 125, what little number can you put with 125? A 1. Everybody do that, please. Put a 1 with 125. Over to the side, we're going to write 125. And we're going to do power over root. So 1 is the power. It goes on top of the fraction. 1 is the power. It goes on top. And you look on the outside for the root number. What's on the outside? A 3. So it's going to be 1/3 is going to be your fraction. Okay, we're going to keep going. Then we're going to write r. And it's power over root. So what's the power with r? 2, so it goes on top. And the root comes from the outside. Roots of a tree are outside. You find roots outside. Roots don't grow inside. They grow outside. So root is on the outside. So a 3 on the bottom. Okay. Keep going. Now I'm going to do S. And 3 goes on top. Okay. 3 goes on top. What goes on the bottom? 3. And then you have to do the last letter too. T. The power is 4. Again, another way I remember that is I think of God as a higher power, so the powers are up high. So 4 is my power over my root. Where is the root? Outside. Root's on the outside, so 3. Okay. In your calculator, type in 125 to the 1/3. 125 to the 1/3. What are you getting? 5. Okay, so what answer choices can I mark out? C and D you can mark out because you got a 5. And then if you look, R is 2 over 3. R is 2 over 3. Which answer choice has it in the correct order? B. Guys, look up here real quick. I want to show you one more thing. What's 3 divided by 3? 1. So they just have s to the first. That's what happened with the s. They did 3 divided by 3. Okay? All right, number 2. You've got the 4th root of 16, x to the 3rd, y to the 5th is e to the 8th. So you put a little 1 with the 16. Everybody do that now. Put a little 1 with the 16. And I'm going to write 16 over to the side. Madison, what's going to go on top of my fraction right here? A 1. Very good. Chase, what's going to go on the bottom? A 4. All right, now I'm going to put an x. Stephen A., what's going to go on top of my fraction with the x? Very good. The power goes on top. Brayden, what goes on the bottom? Very good, which is a 4. Then I write a y. Riley K., what goes on top for the y? A 5. Power over root. Zach, what goes on the bottom? A 4. And Elijah, help me with the z. Very good. All right, Faith, what happens when you do 16 to the 1/4? What do you get? 2. You get 2. So, Jack, what answer choices can I mark out? Or what answer choice? Which one doesn't have a 2 in it? A big 2? Okay. 4 isn't what I get. So 16 to the 1/4, guys. 16 to the 1/4 gives me 2. Okay. I also need one that has 3x to the 3 over 4. Hallie, which one has x to the 3 over 4 in it? D. Okay. Anybody know where they got z squared from in their answer? 8 divided by 4 gives you 2. Okay. All right. Good. All right. Number 3. Samaria, help me with the first part. What am I going to write? Very good. 27 to the 1 over 3. Good. Elijah, help me with the next part. What should I write? Very good. X to the 10 over 3. And Stephen A., what do I do for y? This one's not multiple choice, but we do need to finish it. Dana, what do I need to type in my calculator?
32. 27.
Chase, have you typed that in? What are you getting? 3. So for your final answer, you have to write a 3. Does 10 divide by 3? Nope, so you can just leave it as 10 over 3. Does 3 divide by 3? Yes, so we need to simplify that. What's 3 divided by 3? 1. So that's your final answer right there. 3, x to the 10 over 3, and y. Number 4. Zach, help me with the first part. What do I write? Jack, help me with the A. Faith, help me with the B. And Madison, the C. Elijah, is that my final answer? Okay, so type in what you need to type in. So you get a 2. And then for the A, Stephen A., do I have to do anything for 5 over 5? It divides. What's 5 divided by 5? So you have to make it a 1. Okay. For the B, Brandon, 10 over 5? A 2. And the C stays. The C stays. Okay. Raise your hand if you have a question. Okay. Number 1 down here in the next part where it says the tricky ones. Tricky. On number 1, anybody have any idea what I'm going to do with 1/2 and -4? Think about what we did yesterday. What would I do with 1/2 and -4? Multiply. Very good. Because what's the only thing between them? A parenthesis. So you're going to multiply 1/2 and -4. You're going to multiply those. So I'm going to write x. What happens when you multiply 1/2 times -4? What do you get? -2. So I multiplied these two numbers because there was just a parenthesis between them, and they were both little. They were both little numbers, so I multiplied them. I got -2. Is that my final answer? No. What happens when it's negative? It wants to move. Good. So I put 1 underneath it. Where's x to the -2 going to move to? The bottom. So it's 1 over x squared. 1 over x squared. So the answer is B. Answer is B. Okay. Number 2. Faith, what am I going to do with 1/4 and -16? Multiply them. Elijah, what does it give you when you multiply those? Oh, guys, on your paper for number 1, the answer is C. (1/4) times -16. So you get -4. Jack, is that my final answer? What do I have to do with it?
Put it after a 1.
So that one is B as well. Okay. All right, good. Number 3, Stephen R., what am I going to do with -1/3 and 9? Add them or multiply? Very good. I'm going to multiply them. So I'll type that in my calculator. It gives me x to the -3. And Brandon, what do I have to do with x to the -3? So what will the answer be? So Hallie, A, B, C, or D? D. All right, guys, we're on the back, so make sure you flipped your paper over. So that one's D. Okay, number 4. Chase, what am I going to do with 1, 6, and 3? All right, what does that give you? All right, everybody look up here. This one is very interesting. It's x to the 1/2. Is that negative? Does it need to move? No. Is x to the 1/2 an answer choice? No. Here's what they've done. They've converted it from power over root. They've converted it into radical form. Here's what I mean by that. They've put x in the inside. Does 1 go on the inside or outside if it's the power? It goes on the inside. Where does the root number go? On the outside. Now, to make it even more tricky, the 1 and 2 become invisible because it's the square root and the first power, so they don't have to be there. So what's my answer choice? C. Okay, so that's a weird one. Okay. All right, number 1 on the next part. Okay, pencils down, pencils down, pencils down. Look up here. 1/27, is that a big number or is it a little number as far as being a coefficient or an exponent? Is it big or little? It's big. What is -1/3? Little, okay? Can you multiply a big number by a little number? No, you cannot multiply these. Okay? What you're going to have to do is your calculator, just like we did yesterday when we had a big number and a little number. So in my calculator, I'm going to type in parentheses. Everybody do this with me, please. Parentheses 1 divided by 27. 1 divided by 27. Then you're going to use your caret key over to the side. And what am I going to type in up there? Yep, negative 1 divided by 3. Okay, and what does the calculator give you? 3. Okay, that one you can type it all in the calculator. Are there any X's or Y's? No, so you can just type it in. So that one gives you 3. That one gives you 3. All right, Stephen A., on number 2, am I going to multiply these or type it in the calculator? Good, and you have to use your caret key. Got to use your caret key. So I'm going to type in parentheses 1 divided by 16, caret key, to the negative 1/2. What do you get for that one? 4? All right, Chase, what'd you get for number 3? No. This one, 36 to the 1/2? 1/6. That one you had to do math, enter on, because you got a decimal. And number 4, Riley, what you got? Is it? I need to go back and fix those answer choices because they're all what? B. Okay. All right. Last slide. Oh, I gotta fix this smartboard. Okay. Number 1, so this is review of everything. So this is what's going to be on the quiz tomorrow. All these rules together. So, number 1, I've got a 4 on the outside. Where does that 4 go? It goes with both of them. So draw your arrows. Okay, so I'm going to go to 4 goes with both of them. So draw your arrows. Please, 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 I'm not multiplying. I'm not multiplying negative 7 times 4 because this is a big number and a little number. So please write parentheses negative 7 to the 4th power. Now, what do I do with 5 and 4? I multiply those because they are both what? Little numbers. So x to the 20th. Okay. Is this my final answer? No. Type it in. Parentheses negative 7 to the 4th. What are we getting? 2401? X to the 20th. So that's my final answer for number 1. Final answer for number 1. Okay. All right, number 2. What does this mean, this bar right here? Division. What rule is divide? DS. So when I see a divide bar, I'm doing DS. What does the S stand for to do with the little numbers? Subtract the little numbers. So what do I put with this one? A 1, and I subtract them. So what's 4 minus 1? 3. So A to the 3rd. What am I doing with 8 and 2? So I get B to the 6. A to the 3rd, B to the 6. Okay. All right, number 3 is one that I'm going to have to rewrite. So I've got a 32. Elijah, what number do I put with this 32 right here? a 1. So it's going to be 1 over 5. 1 over 5. Stephen A., what's it going to be for the x? Very good. And Brandon for the y? Good. Samaria, what do you get when you do 32 to the 1/5? 2. So I can mark out C and D. And Faith, is it A or B? A, because it has to be 4 over 5. Has to be 4 over 5. Okay. Number 4, Stephen R., what happens when you have a 0 on the outside? What does it turn into? Well, it cancels out, that's true, and then you get a 1. The 0 cancels everything out, and you get a 1. Okay? All right, number 5. 1/2, is it a big number or a little number? Big. -3 is a little number. Are there any X's, Y's, A's, or B's? No, just type it in your calculator, but you're going to have to use the caret key because you have a big number. Because you've got a big number and a little number. Okay. Madison, what are you getting for that one? 8. Very good. You're getting 8. On number 6, guys, I forgot to show you this yesterday, but if you'll write mama when you have 2 sets of parentheses, so write that on your paper. For number 6, write that above it for me. Help you remember it. When you've got 2 sets of parentheses, it's the mama rule. 2 sets of parentheses. What does the mama rule mean you're doing? Multiplying and adding. So what's -2 times -9? 18. Then you do your x's. x3 and x3 is x6. y4 and y1 is y5. And you drop down z to the 8. All right. And the last one. You have an x, so you can't put the x in your calculator. Can't put that in your calculator. You can do something with the -3 over 2 and the 2. What can you do with both little numbers right there? Times them. Good. Okay? What do you get when you type that in your calculator? So you put x to the -3. Is that my final answer? No. Last time into a negative. It moves to the bottom. So I get 1 over x to the 3rd. 1 over x to the 3rd. Okay, so this is what's going to be on your quiz tomorrow. Anybody have a question? Okay. All right, there's your OYO. You got 3 of them.